Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. Today we'll address the question of, should I buy or should I lease my commercial space? Now, there's a few things to unpack with that, so let's just start off with the buy side of things. Well, there's quite a few benefits associated with buying your property. Similar to buying your own home, you're going to benefit from the acquisition, the increase of equity over time as you pay down your loan, as appreciation occurs, and then obviously some of the tax advantages with owning the property. So as far as buying your building, there's a lot of pros associated with buying your own building. On the other hand, there are also some cons. Generally, when you're buying a commercial building, you're required to put down between 10 and 20% down payment. And some business owners may or may not want to tie up that much liquidity in a building over a long period of time. Not only that, there's a lack of flexibility. So let's say that you're starting to grow in your business and there's nowhere for you to go because the building is constraining you. You may have to look elsewhere to either A, buy another building or get into another lease of something a little bit larger. So that's really some of the pros and cons associated with purchasing a commercial property. Now on the lease side, obviously you're just signing a 3 to 5 year lease, and that's your entire commitment. You don't have to really worry about a lot of the other expenses associated with owning a building. Now, in particular, when you're talking about various different lease types unrelated to net leases, you may only be responsible for making rent payment, paying your own utilities, and that's pretty much it. So you don't have a ton of costs associated with owning, or I should say, leasing of space. Number two, the benefit of leasing a space is the flexibility, right? So if you were to sign a 3-year lease for a space and you start outgrowing that space, you're only committing to the space for 3 years. So it does give you that flexibility to kind of move elsewhere if need be. Now, some of the cons of leasing space is some of the pros associated with buying a building, right? You don't have the same amount of equity that you would have. Essentially, you're paying rent, and after that 3-year period or 5-year period or 10-year period, you have nothing really to show for all the payments that you'd make over that period of time. Not only that, but you have lack of control. So if that owner of that building decides, hey, I'm going to kick this business out at the end of this term, and they're going to have to find somewhere else to operate out of because I want my business to be in here, or I want to move another business in here that's going to pay me more rent, you have no control whatsoever of that space. So generally what I recommend to my clients is that if you see yourself committing to a location long term, maybe buying a building would be something that you should definitely consider to benefit the appreciation and equity or whatever else associated with buying a building. Now, if you are a startup or one that's just getting your feet wet as far as maybe you've only been in business for a year or two and you're seeing a rapid growth, then maybe leasing a space in the short to immediate term is a better situation because it gives you that flexibility to move to different places if need be. And then at some point when you stabilize your growth and you commit to an area for a long period of time, then consider buying. So that's it for this week's edition of Commercial Real Estate Frequently Asked Questions, and I'm excited to hear you guys' feedback. All right, see you guys.